The embarrassing reality of being obese. For obese people, one of the most embarrassing topics to talk about is bottom wiping. Even as a big guy myself, it wasn't something that I've been very comfortable discussing. But since it's a natural part of being very overweight, there's no reason not to. Fat people have 4 ways to wipe their bottoms. They will either ask their caregiver to wipe them, use hand extension tools, use a bidet, or take a shower immediately after using the toilet. There. I've said it. There isn't much else you can do once you pass a certain level of obesity, in all honesty. As a person who weighed 463 pounds at one point, I've had to use all of the available options. And to be frank, none of them is much fun, but they are better than walking around smelling like poop. Look. Everything about living as an obese person is difficult, and wiping is often the least of our worries. As such, I can assume that the reason you are reading this is either because you are curious, have to take care of an obese person, or wonder if you are the only obese person with difficulty wiping. If it's the first reason, your answer is bolded up above. For the persons who have to take care of an obese person or other fat people looking for solidarity, I've got a few tips to share, so stick around. How do fat people wipe themselves? As mentioned earlier, there isn't much you can do as a fat person to wipe your butt. I'll go over each one in detail and something you should take note of to have the easiest time possible. Asking caregivers to help wipe your bottom. One of the most common ways for obese people to stay clean is to ask their caregiver to wipe them. If you are a caregiver, doing this might be a little uncomfortable at first, but it will become just like wiping a baby after a while. As an obese person, one of the most important things to remember is that you should be patient with your caregiver when asking them to help you wipe. I've had to learn this the hard way after seeing the frustration of my partner. But I also understand how it feels to be unclean. However, it isn't your caregiver's fault or problem, so you must be patient and careful when you require their assistance. For the caregivers that find it disgusting to help someone wipe, you can do a few things to make it a little easier. You could wear gloves, wear a mask, and think of it as wiping a baby. Using hand extension tools to wipe. I've already shared the best wiping aid for obese people before, where I review each of the top bottom wipers for obese people. However, for those who haven't seen it, the tool I recommend using is the Bottom Buddy Wiping Aid. This tool will greatly restore your independence by giving you that extra reach that you need. From my personal experience, they aren't as good when using tissues as if you used your hands. However, if you pair them with wipes, you'll get very good results comparable to what it'd be if you weren't obese. I suggest pairing them with flushable wipes like the Dude wipes or Booty wipes for women. They use bidets. My favorite way to wipe while I was way overweight was by using a bidet. They work by spraying a jet of water that gives you a very good clean. If you pair it with a bottom wiper like the Bottom Buddy, you have a near perfect solution. However, bidets aren't as cheap a solution and will require some work to put in. But if you can afford to get one, I'd highly recommend doing so as it is a lifesaver. Otherwise, you'll have to resort to the last option. Take a shower immediately after. This is the last resort, but it's also pretty effective if you have a detachable shower head that can spray down there. I often used this option immediately after using the toilet, and it has even become somewhat of a habit now, even though I no longer require help to wipe. I prefer to feel clean and smell good. So if you have these preferences too, I'd suggest taking a shower after going to the bathroom. The bottom line. Being overweight to the extent that you need assistance to wipe isn't fun or healthy for you mentally nor physically. As such, you should start looking into ways to reduce your weight if it is possible. Otherwise, I highly recommend getting a toilet for obese people and using a bottom wiping tool. That way, you can reduce your reliance on a caregiver and reclaim some of your dignity.